So guys, I've done some drop film masking here. Keeps it nice and small because I'm going to UV prime this and I'm going to keep it very localized. So I've got some raw plastic coming through here. So what I'm going to do is I could use the spray gun and I could use that to put it on. But I was taught this by one of the Octoral techs, and all it is with a bit of a cloth, just dab some on there and put it like that. So it just saves getting a spray gun out, messing it up, and obviously I can talk to you once I'm applying as well. Here you can see the yellow primer I put on. That's like an acid etch primer. It's the PW 170. I always put that down where there's any bare metal exposed. So give that 5-10 minute flash off, and then I can put the primer on it. I'm going to use my 3M performance spray gun. It's got a UV primer cup on there, so it's black. It has to be black when you're UV priming, because otherwise your UV primer is going to go off in the pot. The primer I'm going to use is from Final Systems. It's their Ultimate UV Primer. I really like this. So I'm going to put on now 1 to 2 coats. 2 coats maximum, because it's got a really good build on it, this product, using my Colad fast curing lamp. This will be really quick because it's a powerful lamp, so it's probably only going to take me 30 to 45 seconds to cure it, and that's it, we're done. Nice and quick, as simple as that. So now that's it, it's primed. You can see that I can still see where I've sanded underneath it. That's because UV primer is very translucent. So what I will do is I'll peel back my soft edge masking, which this is a 13mm foam. I always use this because it creates a nice soft edge around where I've primed. I want to try and keep things localized. So there we go, we can just see it there where it's nice and soft. But I am going to apply some spy coat to it, or spy spray. This is basically like a guide coat. It's going to show me any of the high or low spots. I'm more concerned about this area because this will all feather out nicely. So let's just put that on. I'll just put my mask on. So just give that a few minutes to flash off. Doesn't take a long time. Once that's flashing off, you can peel off your masking. We don't need that anymore now. And I'm going to sand this back with some 500, and it'll just feather out nicely. Then it's a normal prep of this corner and put it into paint. So I'm going to use, like I said, some 500. This is quite an old 500. I've done quite a few jobs with it. You can see it's just a little worn. But for this, the initial sand, it's good because if there's any clogging up that's going to happen, you want it on an old disc, not a new disc. So I've done as much sanding as I want with the DA. What I'm going to use is, and I like this is a Super Aztec. It's a really old sheet, but it has still a lot of life in it, and I just put it on a candy block, and now I can do a bit more controlled sanding. Now I used the DA when I was sanding that. A lot of people have messaged me before saying, oh, why do you use the DA? The DA works really well for me, and the reason I like to use it is because it has a skeleton backing pad in it, and that backing pad is very, very unique. It's not like any other interface or backing pad that you've seen on the market. It has a metal plate in it which allows it to keep the swage lines without breaking through or going over them or losing the swage line, and so that's why I use that one. So I'll now just do all the finer work using this little block. And like I said, you know, you've still got a lot of life out of these Super Aztec, so don't throw them away. They are a dry sanding sheet, but they can be used wet when they're coming to the end of their life. And it just prolongs it, just gives you, you're going to get more out of the product. So what you want here is you want a nice uniform grey primer colour. So you want to get rid of all of these little dark where the guide coat was, because that is your low spot. But as you can see the primer that I put underneath, the acid etch or the PW wash primer. That's fine because I know I have some UV primer on it because it is so translucent. So let's just finish this off. So there we go, folks. That is how I will UV prime it. The UV primer is nicely feathered out into the panel. So all is left to me to do is key up this area with some 800 and then I can put the colour down. Welcome everyone, we've got a little De-nib to do on this panel. So I'm going to use some of my Kovacs kit, and this is actually, what have I got on here? This is a 1500 sorry, and it's 1200 on the other side. And I'm just going to knock that down. By using a block like this, you're keeping it, what you're sanding down is actually the area that's high. Well, majority of it, I mean obviously I'm sanding a little bit around the outside, but majority of the work is on the high spot, or the nib that we want to get back down. I might just swap these because these are quite old, so I'm going to just swap one of those out, the 1500 for a newer one. You just peel it off, and they come in little squares. Put a new pad on, new sheet. Simple as that. That's a bit better. That was quite an old sheet I had on there. Okay, so that's as far as I need to go with that. So what I'm going to use now is, I did actually get some 1200 out for the toll cut, but I'm not going to use that. I'm going to go for 2000. Just put it on my little nibber. I really like this. Got a nice, it's almost got like a kind of a shark skin sort of look to it. There we are. So that's that. So it's simple. Well, it's pretty much, that's it, we're gone. I'm going to go with a nice wool foam mop head. Just chuck it on here. And I like using the wool mop heads because I find that they cut quicker. They are also a lot cooler, so especially on fresh paint. There we go. It's as simple as that, all done.